Hi guys, follow me on Instagram to never ever miss any of my crazy updates. Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. I'm driving this. This is the Hyundai i20, the third generation model, and this is actually the Petrol 1.2 liter manual. Straight away we are going to be opening the engine bay of this vehicle, and there it is. Okay, it is very dirty somehow right now. I don't know how that happened. Anyways, there is no insulation right there. It doesn't need it because the engine itself is very smooth indeed, and the design actually looks quite nice. A little polarizing if I may, but this frameless gloss black finish grille looks really very good indeed, and it gets a projector setup for the main light with LEDs, but the indicator is not LED. The fog lamp is also halogen, but it's a projector setup, and you see a lot of cuts and creases on this car to make it look attractive. In fact, the car is quite wide, and obviously it sits under 4 meters in length. From the side you see there's so many cuts on this car. In fact, gets sort of a side skirt which says i20 right there. The wheels are 195 in terms of the size, and these are 16 inches, decent size. 195, 55, 16 is the precise size. The alloy wheel could have been a little bit more adventurous in terms of design, and you know what, it has this puddle lamp indicator on the mirror, chrome lining, so a lot of play with colors. Now this is not the dual tone, this is the single tone color. With dual tone you also get red stitching and all that stuff on the inside, which is quite nice. From the rear you might like it, you might not like it, it all depends on your taste. But there's a chrome line which joins both the lights, something a lot of car makers are doing. In fact, this is the Astra trim. It's got this sort of a diffuser. Where is the exhaust? There is the exhaust. Thankfully, no fake stuff happening here. Straight away, we're going to be opening the boot, not the engine bay, the boot. The loading lip is actually quite high here. The boot is actually decent in terms of size. And you see the spare wheel is a 185, 65, 15, so smaller size for sure. Now, in order to improve the boot carrying capacity, you can recline the seat, but no 60-40 here. It's a single piece recline, which kind of hinders practicality. Meanwhile, I like the attention to detail in the light. It says Z-ish sort of, and the fuel lid is actually integrated so well. It seems like part of the light, and it says i20 right there, just in case you keep forgetting which car you're driving. Chrome door handles, you get a shark fin antenna, not a spoiler, but a high mounted stop lamp. Of course, a rear wiper washer. And where is the camera? The camera is actually positioned here, lower down. Never mind, let's get inside. Now let me tell you, the interior space has improved from before. There's actually decent amount of space on offer. Leg room and knee room and headroom is also pretty impressive at the rear. Door pockets are big enough here. When I sit inside, I realize, look at the amount of space. Yeah, under thigh support could have been better. Headroom is actually good enough for someone of my height, 6 feet 2 inches. There's a handle here. There are plenty of handles to hold on to. 2 adjustable headrests, none for the center passenger. There's a center armrest, but unfortunately no cup holders inside. And you get rear AC vents, you get a USB charging socket and storage space here as well. Floor is almost flat. 3 people can sit in, but the center passenger should leave their head at home and come. There's a small quarter glass right there, and the dashboard design actually looks quite nice. Let's do one thing. Let's get out from here. Let's get to the front. Can you see there's a light placement there, which is also actually a good and practical touch. Now it gets a request sensor here, but it doesn't get a request sensor on the other side. It gets keyless entry, that is. The seats do not get the leather finish. This is fabric finish. Why? Because this is not the turbo. Alright, a little bit better support could be there on the back. Little soft here. Meanwhile, overall seat comfort is good. You get a dead pedal right there. This is the button for traction control. This is for driver rear view monitor. This is for the headlight leveler. Door pockets are big enough at the front. These are the controls for the power windows. This is the control for the outside rear view mirrors. And of course, you see, it also gets a revolutionary feature known as height adjustable seat belt. Yeah, just kidding. That's something which should be there. But there's no mirror here, which is surprising. There is a mirror here, of course, but no light. And there is a sunglass holder, but light placement is on the top. These are the controls for the sunroof. Let's open the sunroof right away. Sunroof is actually on the smaller side. Yeah, it's a little small sunroof, but you press it twice and it opens completely. Now this might look like an auto dimming inside rear view mirror, but it is not. It gets these buttons because of connected car tech, but it is not an auto dimming inside rear view mirror, which is disappointing. There should be one at this price point. Twin cup holders, but one is taken by this, which is the air purifier. Yeah, air purifier, which is a nice touch. Here, we're just going to shut it so it doesn't make noise. Yeah, this is some amount of storage space below the front center armrest, but it could have been bigger, although this is a sliding armrest. Here you see there's a wireless charging pad, and there is a 12-volt charging socket as well, along with 2 USB charging sockets. One obviously connects to the car for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity. Love the buttons, they're so premium in terms of quality. Obviously it gets a climate control air conditioning system. Let's turn that off. You don't get a flat bottom steering wheel, but the steering wheel looks really very nice. These are actually the controls for this infotainment system, rather the instrument cluster, which comes from the word. Now you press this button and you can go through a lot of information in the center. For the multi-information display, this happens to be the tire pressure monitor, driving information, and there's also a compass, not from Jeep. Now you always read the digital readout, although they have a sort of an analog tachometer as well as a speedometer, which is actually digital as such, and you obviously get a lot of information here. That is a good touch. Automatic headlights, no automatic wipers, but the wipers work really well. Plenty of spray on offer. It obviously gets a rear wiper washer as well, which is easy to use because you just press the button and there you see, yeah, it gets the job done in no time. Now there's no handle here on the top. There is a handle here, of course, and this is a 10.25 inch screen, which is really very nice. I like it. Okay, let's get into reverse right away. Here we are into reverse, and you see this is the reverse parking camera. It gets guidelines, adaptive guidelines, of course, and I love the screen. It's very nice. In fact, they've done a fantastic job with it. Very easy to browse. It also gets ambient lighting and it gets Blue Link because obviously it's got connected car tech along with voice commands. Hello Blue Link. Navigate me to Cafe Coffee Day.
Navigating to Cafe Coffee Day.
Look at that map. Oh my god, it's so amazing. And this thing actually works brilliantly well. I don't know why I always say Cafe Coffee Day. I've never been to that place ever in my life. Okay, the glove box is decent size, but a lot of hard plastics everywhere. So they could have put some soft materials. In fact, over here they could have actually put more soft stuff on the door, like a door pad or something of that sort. But plenty of hard plastics everywhere inside this car. Although, you know, the cabin does feel nice and premium. However, this AC vent treatment kind of feels out of place, although it makes the cabin look wide and a little bit Audi-ish or Ertiga-ish depending on what you refer it to. It gets 6 airbags as well. It gets traction control system. Okay, the navigation has actually been shown here in the instrument cluster, which is also a nice touch. In fact, when you open the door, see the graphics, really nice and premium, so they've done a fab job in that sense. Only thing is they could have had physical controls for the audio system because you have to like press this touchscreen button, which is not that intuitive to use. We're going to get into radio so that we can hear some audio of this car. Audio quality is actually very nice. It gets a Bose sound system along with a subwoofer as well. These are actually the controls for the audio system. This is for phone call, this is for the volume, this is to go to next track, this is for voice commands, and this is for the mode selector. So everything actually fits right in your hand. In fact, the steering wheel gets adjust both for reach as well as rake. Okay, not on this particular model. It is only for height adjust. Yeah, height adjust. No, it is both ways. It's a little jammed right now. I need to push it. Yeah, there it is. So yes, that's a nice touch as well. Some of the Hyundai cars do not get it. This is the engine start-stop button. In fact, the horn is also nice. Yeah, it's nice. It's loud and nice. But you know what? Since I've already reviewed this car multiple times in terms of what are the features on offer, stop taking a story of me, Noren. I don't appreciate it. I'm making a video of the Hyundai i20. Let's start driving right away. All right, we are all set to go, which means let's turn on the compass here, turn off the air conditioning, turn on the driver rear view monitor, which only gets activated once your handbrake is down. Into first gear, traction control off, yeah, disabled, hazard light off, revving the motor, and before I could say off we go, I realized there's plenty of wheel spin, but because the road is wet, you couldn't really feel that wheel spin as such. Okay, this is second gear. It's doing 6,800 RPM, 88 kilometers per hour. So gearing is on the taller side. In fact, it takes around 13.5 seconds to go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, which is decently quick for an NA engine. Now this is a 1.2 liter petrol engine, and it has got decent amount of grunt only once you hit the mid-range, not in the lower end of the rev range, unfortunately, because there is some lag. This doesn't have a turbo, but there is some lag. It doesn't go very quickly in the low end of the rev range, and because of that, drivability isn't the best. You need to really work the gearbox, downshift to extract the best from this motor, and once you do that, then you realize that the mid-range is nice, and also the top end is actually quite good. However, it gets very vocal in the top end in a good way as such. If you like sound, that is, I definitely like it. The good thing is that the gearbox is really smooth shifting. The clutch is also very light on this car. Now it produces 83 horsepower at 6,000 RPM, and the reason why it doesn't have good amount of grunt lower down is the torque output, which comes in at 4,200 RPM, which is rather late. So it produces 115 Newton meters of torque. Yeah, 115 Newton meters of torque at 4,200 RPM. Overall performance, I would say, is adequate. Nothing exciting here. It gets the job done for sure, but this isn't a car which will put a massive smile on your face. If you're looking for performance from an i20, get the turbo with your eyes closed. But the problem with the turbo is it doesn't get a manual gearbox. It comes with an IMT or a 7-speed dual clutch gearbox, and that also adds to the cost. In fact, compared to this, I mean, the similar variants and trims, 1 lakh rupee more, rather 1.2 lakh rupee more for the turbo engine, 1.1 lakh rupee more over that for the DCT gearbox, makes it quite expensive. Braking performance is nice, but you know, you get really hard on the brakes, and there is some amount of judderiness. I mean, it doesn't have that confidence. Again, here we go. Come on, rev it. Yeah, wheel spin, baby. 6,900 RPM it hits, and then it also wheel spin at upshift because there is grunt in the top end. Yeah, top end actually feels quite nice. I enjoy the gearbox on this car. I really enjoy it. The thing is that Hyundai has added a lot of high strength steel to this car. They stiffen the chassis, stiffen the suspension, all that and more. And the reason is high speed stability is absolutely phenomenal in this car. It really feels glued to the road without a doubt at any speed whatsoever. In fact, the handling characteristic is also improved from before dramatically. Only thing is when you try to push it really hard, understeer kicks in. But for the most part, this is a big step up in terms of handling capability. Even the ride is so much more sorted now. It rides very nicely. I love the ride quality on this car now. In fact, the diesel rides better because it obviously has a stiffer suspension setup. This is the softest of the lot among the 3 engine options. The other 2 engines, obviously 1 litre turbo and the 1.5 litre diesel. I would say close your eyes and get the diesel, but you have to pay 2 lakh rupees more for the diesel for the same variant. Yeah, 13 lakh rupees on road Mumbai for the diesel. This car is priced at 11 lakh rupees on road Mumbai, and the range actually starts at 8 lakh, goes all the way till 13.3 lakhs, which happens to be obviously for the turbo automatic, the DCT, making the i20 quite pricey as such. All the prices are on road Mumbai. There are 24 variants on offer. That's a lot of variants. Yeah, that's a lot of variants. But then it's got 3 engines and then 5 transmission options as well. That said, ride quality is actually quite nice. For the most part, it damps everything very nicely, and you know what? Bad roads, it takes in its stride without any issue whatsoever. It's only the issue actually arises when you try to, go over bad roads really fast. You can feel a bit inside the cabin. But for the most part, I have little to complain about the ride quality of this car. I think the ride quality is very well achieved, very well balanced indeed, without any doubt. However, fuel economy is actually 20 something kilometers per liter claimed on this engine, but in the real world you should get somewhere between 10 to 15 kilometers per liter depending on your driving style purely. Now the problem is that when you get hard on the gas, now it doesn't really respond, and you're like, now something is going to happen, magic is going to happen. No magic is going to happen. This is just going to get the job done. This engine, 1.2 litre petrol, just gets the job done. No excitement whatsoever, and considering how sporty the i20 has been made to look, this just doesn't cut it in terms of sportiness, the way you drive and all those things. Yeah, I would have liked a little bit more, handling characteristics. It's no Polo in terms of handling. I'm sorry about that. It's not a Polo in terms of handling, but it's good enough for most people. Here we go. Yeah, it wheel spins on upshift. So like I was telling you, the steering is also actually dramatically improved from before. Yeah, the steering feels 6,900 RPM, wow, beta, wow. But it's pointless to go above 6,000 RPM because there is no juice left there. By the time you hit 6,000 RPM, you're like, okay, now it's time to shift. Now, I was telling you about the steering wheel. Steering wheel is actually a delight. It's so much more improved from before. It feels so confidence-inspiring. It's very direct, ways up, but still, again, not Polo level. Specifically speaking, if you're looking for driver's car, the i20 doesn't cut it. It's more of an all-rounder in the sense it's premium. It comes with a lot of features, and then you have to really downshift if you want to get going because there is no grunt as such. you have to downshift. In fact, you have to downshift in the city because drivability is not great. You have to downshift on the highway if you want to make a quick overtake. So you have to continuously work the gearbox. Only thing, it's a joy to use this gearbox. Really very nice. It's a 5-speed unit. You would expect 6-speed, but no, it's a 5-speed unit, and you don't need more than that, honestly, for an engine of this capacity, which is 1200cc. Yeah, overall performance, I'm just like, I feel that they should have not even got the 1.2 litre petrol, but they've done it for, cost effectiveness. You need to get the 1 litre turbo, period. They should have offered it with a manual gearbox. Had they done that, the joy to drive would be just something else, because a manual with a turbo petrol, and that's no normal turbo petrol, it's the most powerful in the segment. 120 horsepower coming from that 1 litre 3-cylinder turbo engine. Overall refinement levels are fantastic. It feels very smooth, refined, and even the suspension doesn't make noise. It's well damped. Everything is very comfort oriented, yet it feels so much more sure-footed than the older i20. So a big step up. But with that big step up, there's also a big step up in terms of pricing and making this car quite pricey and right bang into territory of compact SUVs, yeah, which are kind of jacked up hatchbacks. You see, now you have to make a choice. Should you get the i20, which is a hatchback, premium hatchback, or should you get a jacked up hatchback, rather the compact SUVs which are on offer, which ride higher? Well, honestly, if you like hatchback, you'll love this car, but you have to pay a premium for it, and I would say pay that premium, get the turbo. And if you're getting the turbo, get the automatic, of course. Forget the IMT. And if you really want to enjoy driving, get the diesel. The diesel just rides better, handles better because of the stiffer suspension setup. You see, the steering wheel is actually quite well judged on this car. Yeah, it's not sporty, but it is so well judged. There's no hairiness, there's no scariness anymore from the i20. It just feels so much better put together, which is really very impressive, and that's what I really like about Hyundai's latest cars. They're going in the right direction. The horn is actually loud enough. Easy to get it out of gaps because obviously it's very easy to drive in spite of the light steering. It weighs up decently well at high speeds, which again is a positive. You see, the roads are really bad out here, but you know, the damping levels, very impressive. So guys, this is my vlog of the Hyundai i20 1.2 liter petrol Asta variant, and I honestly think that if you have the budget, skip this engine, get the turbo. And if you're looking for good fuel economy and fun to drive, get the diesel. The diesel is by far the best option. And you know what? The rivals are not offering a diesel engine with their premium hatchbacks, which Hyundai has done. So kudos to them for offering us a ton of variety in terms of engine, in terms of, you know, even gearbox options. And on that, appreciation is time to end. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. That's the like button. And I really appreciate Hyundai for offering us a turbo petrol engine, unlike some brands who launched it and then discontinued it later. What the F? Come on! You are India's largest car maker. We need turbo engines in your car. Till that time, just buy the i20. Bye bye. What happened?
डरा दो उसको जाके बोलो.
क्या जाके बोलो? अरे वो किस्मत वाला है, उसने ले लिए Baleno RS. It has a 1 liter booster jet engine, although it produces 100 horsepower, which is something which Fiat was producing almost 21 years back in their Palio 1.6 liter petrol engine, which was a naturally aspirated motor. Now this is a turbo turbo.
What's wrong with it working?